being another voice in the 10,000 things, that doesn't motivate me. But I have to give myself some credit, so I'm speaking. That simple, very self-centered approach leads me into the other, leads me into reason, meaning. Many people have said I've shared good information that helped them. Friends, family, strangers. But I never really valued myself enough to actually feel what they said. At least in real time. That's something I'm learning in life. To speak, there's got to be a reason. So I'm going to speak to the people I think need to hear perspectives. It's an echo chamber response world out there. We're realizing we have to embrace who we are at our center in order to truly live in this world. Because it wants to reduce us into an avatar, into an uploaded consciousness, a memory of a sentient being trapped in interface between one another through technology, these videos and all these other things that just sit in an archive on the internet somewhere. A collective resonance we're creating. Giving life, giving matter to something mental. This is Aquarius. So the meaning here, I see a lot of younger, well, just a lot of people in general, but it seems every generation it's a little bit harder to relate in the ways we once did. And a lot of the static in the signal, a lot of the miscommunication and the energy that's captured by tension, it's related to how we interact with one another, engage with one another in the here now. Even though our psyche is still entrained to the past. And we call it all these different things, and we create these movements and create these college courses, and people become masters of trivial knowledge, and we idolize that. We huddle around it. It's the new fire, and we feed into it. We let it feed into us, and then we burn away into the proxy, the scapegoat, onto the next thing. It's a micro to macro happening. It happens within each individual. When you see it within yourself, you see it in the world. You can understand how the process works in relation to a higher potential, a more biopic view. Now, castrating conviction through these concepts is something that I take into account. It's one reason I don't want to speak on these things, because the meaning of it isn't going to last. But I guess it's all about timing. So, relations, men and women. When the man is up, the man is tested. When the man is down, the woman is tested. The denials, Black Moon Lilith, the repressions, the anima, the animus, rebalancing yourself in true power through what you've denied within yourself in nature, what you've been denied in nature because it wasn't acceptable in society, in tradition, in culture, in relationships. It wasn't even acceptable within you, most importantly. The world, it wants to break us open so that we can feel what it is. That's the chaos, the unknown, the feminine. And so we hold tightly to conviction, we create meaning, we create dreams, we bring the best of ourselves out into this world to combat what that is, and we become edifice for something, icon for something. That's the yang. And so it is this yin of yang progression, energetic, that we're dancing the Rasa Lila, the life, into existence. When we over-identify ourselves with what society has told us it is to be a man, or it is to be a woman, or it is to be a career-oriented person, or what it is to be a family-oriented person, that's when the rebellion becomes lived. Because now we have this place where our repressions can find outlet, where we can stand in the conviction of our own denials. But we're too afraid to hold the fire truly, so we give it to a label, a meaning, a movement, a tradition, a belief. It's the language we know, basically, our programming. Religious, cultural, societal. Simple things are the truth. Simple things, they don't lie to you. You know, that might have been much easier to be a man and woman in society thousands of years ago because society wasn't as sophisticated. We didn't have to sacrifice as much of ourselves in order to make it work. Nowadays, we're at the point where we're at that dividing line where you give too much into this, you step outside nature, and now you become the static icon of a projection of the past. And then you don't see the value of a family or even a relationship. If you want a child, you just go to some test tube center and they'll cook you up a CRISPR baby. That's the future that a lot of socialites envision. It's a nihilistic expression of existence. But they seek meaning in other things. Doesn't mean they're completely wrong. They're part of change. They give distinction, reason for real meaning, and that's people who feel more in tune with the cosmic pulse of existence. Which is the dance, the friction of relation, which requires polarity, duality, opposite. That's life, you know, it's expressing. If you're non-binary, or if you're like someone who is fallen into the hive-oriented buzz drone of existence, then that's your calling. But to to feel that's a truth is very myopic. Realization is life happening. In society, to be a man is evil now. To have a family is considered harmful for the planet. It probably is for the shit show world that's trying to stay alive because it's so stupid and myopic. It sacrificed its children so that it may live, and those who want to clamor to that shadow will, because it's in their nature. They're rolling with a different wake, and I'm not part of that. So I'm speaking to the people. This is the Underground Railroad of spirit. This is the Civil War of spirit. Fixed signs, when we move into processional fixed signs, cataclysms come. It's a 12,000 year cycle. But in Aquarius, it's cataclysm of consciousness. There's always going to be shit happening in reality, cataclysms, that kind of stuff. But this is the mind, this is the soul yearning for expression and an expanded psyche. And the forms and the things in this world and the ideas that are emerging into reality, that's an expression of what that is. So how do you do that for yourself? How do you find the authentic? Feed into that, bring that out. Because the world is screaming for that. Simplify your life and you won't have to fight in the mire of the programming so much. What have you identified your pride, your value on? Is it victimhood, a virtue of society? They want to pay you back now and give you what's owed? Because let's face it, no, there isn't that many 1%ers in this world. So if you're not 1%, you're basically the same. It's just different expressions for the pain. And we're all unified in that. So be the individual and come into unity with reality. Then we all sing a universe into existence. All right, well, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, listening, and being.